Hi, my name's Luke Clancy, and welcome to the Cedar Log. On this week's episode, we actually have a very special treat for you. This is a pre-recorded interview from Conclave 2021 at Goose Pond Scout Reservation, where our very own Kyle interviewed the 2021 NE5 Section Chief, Nick Sherman. So please, sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cedar Log. Today we have a special episode here at Goose Pond Scout Reservation in the beautiful Pocono Wilderness in northeastern Pennsylvania. I'm joined here with Nick Sherman, the Section Chief of NE5. Hi, Nick.
Hi, Kyle. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
All right, so let's start off with some questions. We don't want to take too much of your time. We know it's very precious. So let's talk about your early time in scouting. When did you first start scouting, actually?
So I became a Cub Scout in 2008. When I was 6 years old, I joined my local Cub Scout pack, and I've been involved since then for the past 13 years.
So did you move on from your Cub pack to your troop?
I did.
Awesome.
Yeah, I crossed over in 2013.
Do you still talk to some of those guys? Did you cross over with other people?
I did, yeah. Some of those guys are some of my best friends.
Let's see, what else we got? Where and when did you take your ordeal?
So I took my ordeal in June of 2017 right here at Goose Pond Scout Reservation.
Wow. So you've been doing what? That's four, numbers are hard. 4 years.
Yeah, we're
So let's talk about a little bit about the OA. What position are you currently?
So right now I'm currently the section chief of Section NE5. So I'm running around, sort of running this event. And in the past, I've been the section vice chief as well as Lawapanu Lodge's vice chief of program.
So how is being a section chief different from being a section vice chief?
So with the section vice chief role, the role is very varied, right? With the vice chief, the main focus is on training, so running conclave training and ACT conferences. But other than that, the vice chief role is very varied in what you can do. You can work on your own projects and you can virtually do anything that the role has. Whereas being the chief has a little bit more of a specific role. You're overseeing the operations of the section and making sure all of our lodges are supported the best way that they can.
Did you ever serve a position within your lodge?
I did. I was the lodge vice chief of program last year. I was also the service committee chairman, and I'm currently the OA rep committee chairman.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So are you part of any other committees though in your lodge itself?
I've been briefly involved with the communications committee, the ceremonies committee. I've played Nudikit and Alawat-Sakima, and I've been involved with the Native American Activities drum team.
Do you have a favorite part of doing all your ceremonies and stuff? Do you have a favorite character to play or to say?
I don't think so. Alawat is very fun to do, especially the last part at the end of the ordeal ceremony.
So let's talk about being section chief. What really made you run to be section chief? What made you decide?
So the main reason I wanted to be section chief was the impact that section chiefs have on people. Being able to directly impact thousands of people is something that you can't get in any other organization. And so that was really the driving force to allow me to run for section chief.
What are some of the challenges you've faced as section chief, especially during this past year of COVID-19?
Yeah, so the virtual programming has definitely been challenging, but in some ways it's also been a benefit. As you know, we have our lodges from Puerto Rico as well as Europe with Black Eagle Lodge, and so being able to interact with them, albeit behind a Zoom screen, makes things a whole lot easier. Building the bonds of brotherhood. Of course, in-person events are always going to be better, but virtual programming has definitely made things easier for us as a big section, but it's also been a challenge as well.
So I have to ask, as you are the section chief, do you have a favorite lodge?
I
within
do
the
not.
section?
I love all lodges equally.
Are you sure?
Yes, very 100%.
Okay. So what is your favorite memory as section chief been so far?
This weekend. I mean, I know it's not over yet. We still have a lot more program to go through. And a lot more airmen to inspire, but this weekend has definitely been the highlight of my term. Getting to see so many airmen in person after 2 years of virtual scouting is something I will never forget for the rest of my life.
So far, for anyone who's not here at our conclave, we are halfway through the weekend. So with this second half coming up, what are you most excited for?
I'm excited to beat that car up in the shale pit.
You want to beat the car? Oh,
Yes.
Car up in the shale pit. Okay, that's a pretty good answer. You have like a weapon of choice you would use, you know?
I'm
If
gonna
you
have
had
to,
any weapon, like a lightsaber, like a flamethrower, what would you choose?
I'd probably choose the lightsaber.
The lightsaber.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good answer. You a big Star Wars fan?
No, but
Really?
I'm not. I've only watched one of the movies.
Which one?
I don't remember.
I really thought you were gonna say like one of the prequels, and I was gonna be like, that's why you don't like it. So, how would you describe lodges in our section, though? You know, if you were to like just use a general word to describe every single lodge, what word would you choose?
Wonderful. You know, every lodge in our section is great. You know, every lodge has leaders that have really stepped up and that are capable to lead their lodges. I'm a firm believer in the fact that our lodge chiefs are the most influential people in the Order of the Arrow, because they are the people that are running our program at the local level, directly electing, inducting, and activating our members and keeping our organization moving. And so, all of our lodges are wonderful in every aspect of the word.
So I know you talked a little bit about this, about being in different committees in your own lodge. Can you talk a little bit about how you've done so much section work with being in the lodge at the same time? How do you remain active and balance both those schedules?
Yeah, so with my lodge, as I said before, I'm the OA Rep Committee Chairman, so I've been compiling lists of OA reps, making sure that they are getting information out to their units. And I've also been a ceremonialist. This past weekend, I played Alawat for our ordeal ceremony and pre-ordeal, as well as Nudikit for our Brotherhood ceremony.
Wow. Do you think it's a struggle at times to keep your section life and your lodge life separate almost?
I wouldn't say so much a struggle, because, like I have my section position and I also have my lodge positions, and I'm able to easily distinguish between the two and very much keep them separate.
So what are your goals right now? How old are you right now?
I'm 18.
So you're 18, so you have a lot of time left before you age out. What are your goals from here on out? Do you have any like big ideas, running for national chief or a vice chief or something?
Right now I'm mainly focused on our section and keep supporting our lodges so that they can thrive well into the future. But my goals are to make sure that our lodges are able to reemerge from the pandemic, right? We've been virtual scouting for a year and a half now, and now that we're reemerging, I believe that our lodge chiefs need resources in order to continue virtual scouting in person. That's my biggest goal for the future.
Do you have any other big plans though? Anything else you want to do within your lodge maybe?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
What about like an event? What's your next big event you want to go to? You want to do another conclave or NOAC or just a lodge weekend?
Our ACT conference is going to be on September 26th. So that's my next big event, but I will be attending the Section NE3B conclave in late August.
Awesome. So before we end the interview, we do want to ask you a couple fun questions. Number one, does pineapple go on pizza?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
It does not.
That's a controversy right there.
I had to look right at Greg as I said it.
You really just called out the national vice chief right here. Okay. So is a hot dog a sandwich?
This is a big one to think about, because when I think of a sandwich, I think pieces of meat between two pieces of bread, and I mean that's essentially what a hot dog is. So, I would have to say a hot dog is a sandwich.
So personally, I believe that a hot dog is not a sandwich. It's actually a hoagie because it's one piece of bread.
But wouldn't a hoagie be considered a sandwich also?
No, it's a hoagie.
All right.
You don't go to Wawa and ask for a hoagie, or you don't say a sandwich and get a hoagie. That's not how that works. Next question. Do you believe in ghosts?
Somewhat.
Somewhat?
I believe there might be something out there, but I personally have never seen.
No, you've never seen a ghost?
I've not. Have you?
No, I've not. And you work at this camp, right?
Yes.
So do you have a favorite memory from this camp?
There was one point where I was the basketry merit badge counselor, and a kid did a really good basket, and I marked his requirement off, and I saw him skipping out of the lodge, and that really put a smile on my face, just because of the whole impact factor, being able to directly have an impact on people, is why I continue to stay involved in this organization, and that was definitely a great memory.
So last question. Do you believe mint chocolate chip ice cream is a good flavor of ice cream?
I do.
You do 100%.
100%.
So are you?
I would go as far to say that mint chocolate chip is my favorite flavor of ice cream.
There's a lot of people gonna be angry at you for that one.
That's okay.
Are you a cone man or are you like a cup man?
I like the cone.
All right. Well, with that being said, that is our last question. We want to We want to give a special shout out to all the people who make this possible, including Reese Wallace, Griffin O'Brien, Matt Luke, Luke Clancy, and a huge thank you to you, Nick Sherman, for being on our podcast.
Watch.